B&B spoilers. Dr. John Finnegan's got a guilty conscience. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Sheila Carter might have an unexpected ally in her corner. Is her bio son, Dr. John Finnegan, starting to feel bad for the villainess? More importantly, will he get served divorce papers from Queen Steffi if he defends her? Keep reading to find out. Here's what's coming up next on Bold and the Beautiful. Spoilers down below. Sheila Carter tugs at Finn's heartstrings. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say, next week, Dr. Finn, Tanner Novlin, will start to second-guess his stance on Sheila Carter, Kimberlyn Brown, and Deacon Sharp, Sean Cannon. Finn could barely keep a straight face when his mom was bragging to him about how great her marriage was, thanks to his wife's mom, Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig. Finn knows the truth. Deacon is just buying time until he finds a way to divorce Sheila without ending up in a body bag, and Taylor is definitely not fixing their marriage. Finn's guilt is catching up to him. According to B&B spoilers, Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, has made it very clear what will happen if Finn tries to have a relationship with his troubled birth mom. If the good doctor tries to point out to his wife that Sheila has changed or that she has a right to be upset over her husband and his therapist, it's not going to go well. Finn has always had a strong moral compass, and he's the most loyal husband we have seen on Bold and Beautiful in a long time. But how long is he going to stand by and let his clueless mom be set up for heartbreak? Today's heartbreaking news: B&B's Dr. John Finnegan, paralyzed by a guilty conscience. The sun may be shining over the Forrester mansion, but for Dr. John Finnegan, the shadows have never been darker. In a series of emotional turns that have left fans reeling, today's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, January 27th, 2026, has confirmed what many feared. The good doctor is breaking under the weight of a secret that could dismantle his life with Steffi forever. For years, Finn has been the moral compass of the show, the devoted husband, the brilliant surgeon, and the man who stood as a shield between his family and the chaos of Sheila Carter. But today, that compass is spinning wildly. Finn is no longer just fighting external villains. He is fighting himself. A house built on sand, the source of Finn's guilt. The sad news hitting the headlines today centers on Finn's internal collapse. While Steffi Forrester is away in San Francisco on a high-stakes business trip with Electra, Finn has been left alone with his thoughts, and they are dangerous. The source of this crushing guilt? A toxic cocktail of betrayal, silence, and the ghost of Taylor Hayes. As viewers saw in recent episodes, Finn has become the unwilling vault for a secret that is eating him alive. Taylor and Deacon Sharp's clandestine connection. Finn knows that his mother-in-law Taylor has developed a deep, potentially ruinous spark with Deacon. The problem? Deacon is currently married to the woman who nearly ended Finn and Steffi's lives, Sheila Carter. By keeping this secret from Steffi, Finn feels he is betraying the very foundation of their marriage. Every time he looks at Hayes, he sees the family he is supposed to protect, yet he is actively hiding a truth that could bring Sheila's protective wrath back onto their doorstep. The medical emergency that changed everything. In a heart-wrenching twist during yesterday's broadcast, Finn was forced to rush to the hospital for a medical emergency, leaving young Hayes in the care of Spencer and Dylan. While the emergency was professional, the emotional fallout was deeply personal. Witnesses at the hospital described Finn as distracted and on edge. For a surgeon whose hands are usually steady as a rock, the visible tremor in his demeanor was a flashing red light for fans. Sources close to the production suggest that Finn's guilty conscience isn't just about Taylor. It's about his own growing sense of isolation. Finn has always been the one to fix things, says one insider. But how do you fix a heart that is divided between loyalty to your wife and the burden of a secret that could destroy her mother? The Sheila factor, a mother's dangerous love. We cannot talk about Finn's sadness without mentioning the Sheila-sized elephant in the room. Just days ago, Sheila cornered Finn at Il Giardino, gushing about how Taylor saved her marriage. The irony was not lost on the audience or on Finn. knowing that Taylor is actually the one threatening that marriage creates an impossible paradox for him. If he tells the truth, he ruins Taylor. If he stays silent, he risks Sheila finding out on her own. And we all know that a blindsided Sheila Carter is the most dangerous version there is. Today's scenes showed Finn staring at a photo of him and Steffi, his eyes filling with tears. It wasn't just sadness. It was the look of a man who feels he has already lost the honest version of himself. Is Shin heading for a breakup? The buzz in the soap community is reaching a fever pitch. Jacqueline McInnes Wood Steffi recently dropped a bombshell in an interview, hinting that Finn might be the first one to stray in their marriage. While fans have always viewed Finn as the ultimate loyalist, his current state of mind makes him vulnerable. Guilt has a way of driving people toward bad decisions. With Steffi busy building a jewelry empire in San Francisco and Finn drowning in secrets in Los Angeles, the distance between them is becoming more than just geographical. The trust gap. Steffi prizes loyalty above all else. If she discovers Finn has been protecting Taylor's secret at the expense of their transparency, the fallout will be nuclear. The Dylan connection. With Dylan now firmly planted in the Spencer/Forrester orbit, Finn has found an unexpected confidant. But even that relationship is fraught with tension. What's next for the grieving doctor? As we look toward the rest of the week, the spoilers aren't getting any happier. Finn is expected to reach a breaking point by Friday. Whether he confesses to Steffi or seeks solace in a way that further complicates his life remains to be seen. One thing is certain. The sad news today isn't about a death or a physical injury. It's about the death of innocence for a character we've grown to love. Dr. John Finnegan is realizing that in the world of the Forresters and the Logans, even the purest heart can be stained by a guilty conscience. Fans, we want to hear from you. Should Finn tell Steffi the truth about Taylor and Deacon? Or is he right to stay silent to protect the peace? The Cliff House has never felt more like a prison. Stay tuned to the bold and the beautiful as this tragedy continues to unfold. Drowning in secrets in Los Angeles, the distance between them is becoming more than just geographical. The trust gap. Steffi prizes loyalty above all else. If she discovers Finn has been protecting Taylor's secret at the expense of their transparency, the fallout will be nuclear. The Dylan connection. With Dylan now firmly planted in the Spencer/Forrester orbit, Finn has found an unexpected confidant. But even that relationship is fraught with tension. What's next for the grieving doctor? As we look toward the rest of the week, the spoilers aren't getting any happier. Finn is expected to reach a breaking point by Friday. Whether he confesses to Steffi or seeks solace in a way that further complicates his life remains to be seen. One thing is certain. Today's bold the sad and the beautiful spoilers bring a heavy, heartbreaking cloud over Los Angeles. And at the center of it all stands Dr. John Finnegan, a man known for his compassion, his steady hands, and his unshakable devotion to family. Or at least that's who he used to be. Now Finn is unraveling. And the reason is simple, devastating, and impossible to escape. A guilty conscience that refuses to stay silent. A good man cracking under the weight of guilt. Finn has always been written as one of the moral anchors of B&B. While others scheme, lie, betray, and manipulate, Finn typically represents calm reason and ethical clarity. He heals instead of harms. He listens instead of lashes out. And above all, he believes in doing the right thing, even when it hurts. But today's very sad news confirms that Finn is no longer at peace with his choices. Something he's done or failed to do is eating him alive. Those close to him are beginning to notice the change. The long pauses before he speaks. The haunted look in his eyes. The way he flinches when certain names are mentioned. Finn isn't just stressed. He isn't just tired. He's drowning in guilt. The Sheila Carter shadow that never leaves. Let's be honest. Finn's conscience has a name, and that name is Sheila Carter. No matter how hard Finn tries to compartmentalize his past, Sheila remains the open wound that never healed. Biologically, she's his mother. Emotionally, she's his nightmare. And morally, She's the line he's terrified he may have crossed. Finn has spent years trying to convince himself and everyone else that he's nothing like her. That biology doesn't define destiny. That love, not blood, makes a family. But guilt doesn't care about logic. And lately, Finn has been asking himself questions he never wanted to face. Did I defend Sheila when I shouldn't have? Did my compassion enable her? Did my silence put people I love in danger? Those questions don't just linger. They echo. Steffi feels the distance, even if she doesn't know why. Steffi Forrester Finnegan knows her husband. She knows when he's distracted, when he's overwhelmed, and when something is wrong. And right now, Finn is emotionally miles away. He's physically present, but mentally elsewhere. Conversations trail off. Eye contact fades. His reassurances sound practiced rather than heartfelt. Steffi may not know the full truth yet, but she feels it, and that makes this situation even sadder. Finn's guilt isn't just hurting him. It's quietly creating distance in a marriage that has already survived far too much trauma. Steffi has fought tooth and nail to protect her family from Sheila's chaos. To see Finn emotionally slipping because of the very woman who threatened their lives, that would be devastating. A doctor who can't heal himself. Perhaps the most tragic irony of all is this. Finn helps others process trauma for a living, but can't process his own. As a doctor, he's trained to diagnose symptoms, identify root causes, and create treatment plans. But guilt isn't something you can prescribe away. There's no pill for remorse. No surgery for regret. Finn's conscience keeps replaying moments he wishes he could undo. Times he gave Sheila the benefit of the doubt. Times he hesitated instead of acting. Times he chose hope over hard truth. And now he's paying for it emotionally. Sleep doesn't come easy. His thoughts race. His chest tightens. And every time Sheila's name surfaces, it's like reopening a scar that never fully closed. Is Finn hiding a dangerous secret? What's making fans especially uneasy is the growing suspicion that Finn's guilt may be tied to something he hasn't revealed yet. Is there information he kept from Steffi to protect her, only to realize too late that secrecy caused more harm than honesty ever could? Did he know something about Sheila's plans, her mindset, or her next move and fail to act? Or worse, did Finn unintentionally help Sheila in a way that led to consequences he can't take back? The show has been dropping subtle hints. Unfinished sentences, lingering looks, moments where Finn seems on the verge of confession, only to pull back. And that silence may be the most dangerous thing of all. Guilt always demands a reckoning. Here's the truth B&B has taught us time and time again. Guilt never stays buried forever. It surfaces in unexpected ways. Emotional breakdowns, impulsive decisions, strained relationships, and devastating confessions that change everything. Finn can try to outrun his conscience, but it will catch him. Sooner or later, he'll be forced to choose. Confess and risk losing Steffi's trust, or stay silent and let guilt poison his soul and his marriage. Neither option is painless. Both come with consequences. And that's what makes today's news so profoundly sad. A man torn between love and responsibility. Finn loves Steffi. There's no doubt about that. She is his anchor, his safe place, his reason for fighting through chaos. But Finn also carries a deep sense of responsibility to his oath as a doctor, to his moral compass, and yes, to the complicated truth of his own origins. And that internal tug-of-war is tearing him apart. He wants to be loyal. He wants to be honest. He wants to protect his family. But guilt whispers that he's already failed at least one of those things. The calm before a very painful storm. What makes this storyline especially heartbreaking is the quietness of it all. There's no explosion yet. No dramatic confrontation. No screaming match. Just a good man slowly breaking under the weight of remorse. Those are often the most devastating stories, because when the truth finally comes out, the fallout is unavoidable. Finn's guilty conscience isn't just a passing phase. It's the warning tremor before a seismic emotional shift. And when it hits, nothing will be the same. Final thoughts, sympathy, sadness, and fear for what comes next. Today's very sad news on the bold and the beautiful reminds us that even the kindest hearts can carry unbearable burdens. Dr. John Finnegan isn't a villain. He isn't weak. He isn't cruel. He's human. And right now, his guilt is threatening to destroy the very life he's worked so hard to protect. The real question isn't whether Finn will confront his conscience, but when and how much it will cost him when he does. But guilt whispers that he's already failed at least one of those things. The calm before a very painful storm. What makes this storyline especially heartbreaking is the quietness of it all. There's no explosion yet. No dramatic confrontation. No screaming match. Just a good man slowly breaking under the weight of remorse. Those are often the most devastating stories, because when the truth finally comes out, the fallout is unavoidable. Finn's guilty conscience isn't just a passing phase. It's the warning tremor before a seismic emotional shift. And when it hits, nothing will be the same. Final thoughts, sympathy, sadness, and fear for what comes next. Today's very sad news on the bold and the beautiful reminds us that even the kindest hearts can carry unbearable burdens. Dr. John Finnegan isn't a villain. He isn't weak. He isn't cruel. He's human. And right now, his guilt is threatening to destroy the very life he's worked so hard to protect. The real question isn't whether Finn will confront his conscience, but when and how much it will cost him when he does. And the beautiful spoilers land with a heavy thud, and longtime viewers may want to brace themselves, because this chapter is dripping with heartbreak, regret, and emotional manipulation that cuts dangerously deep. Sheila Carter, a name synonymous with chaos and carnage, is once again at the center of a devastating emotional storm. But this time, the weapon she's wielding isn't violence or schemes, it's vulnerability. And tragically, it's working. In today's very sad developments, Sheila Carter tugs at John Finnegan's heartstrings in a way that threatens to undo everything he's fought to protect. A mother's tears, or a master manipulator's last card. For years, Sheila Carter has survived by any means necessary. Lies, disguises, obsession, and bloodshed have followed her like a shadow. Yet today, viewers are seeing a different version of Sheila, or at least one she wants Finn to see. Gone is the snarling villain reveling in chaos. Instead, Sheila appears fragile, reflective, and emotionally exposed. Her voice trembles, her eyes fill with tears, and her words are carefully chosen to strike Finn exactly where he's weakest, his compassion. Sheila doesn't demand forgiveness. She doesn't excuse her past. Instead, she leans into regret. "I know I've done terrible things," she confesses, her tone subdued, "but I'm still your mother." Those words hang heavy in the air, because for Finn, they're impossible to ignore. Finn's eternal struggle, doctor, husband, son. Finn has always been torn between logic and empathy. As a doctor, he's trained to see the humanity in everyone, even those who don't deserve it. As a husband, he's sworn to protect Steffi and their children from Sheila's darkness. But as a son, that's where things get complicated. Finn has spent years trying to shut down his biological connection to Sheila, convincing himself that blood doesn't define family. Yet Sheila's quiet pain, her loneliness, and her apparent remorse awaken something he's tried desperately to bury: guilt. Sheila reminds Finn that she has no one, no family, no allies, no future. She paints herself as a woman abandoned by the world, clinging to the last thread of hope, her son. And Finn listens, not because he trusts her, but because he feels sorry for her. The tragedy of sympathy. This is where today's news becomes truly heartbreaking. Sympathy is dangerous when it comes to Sheila Carter. Viewers know it. Steffi knows it. Taylor knows it. Everyone except Finn seems to fully grasp just how lethal Sheila's emotional games can be. Even when she appears sincere, history has proven one thing: Sheila never changes. She only adapts. But Finn's heart doesn't operate on logic, it operates on empathy. As Sheila speaks about missed birthdays, lost years, and the pain of never being allowed to be a real mother, Finn's walls begin to crack. He doesn't excuse her crimes, but he starts to wonder if compassion is the moral choice, and that internal conflict is exactly what Sheila is counting on. Steffi's worst nightmare begins to take shape. While Sheila is tugging at Finn's heartstrings, a storm is brewing elsewhere, and Steffi Finnegan is standing right in its path. Steffi has spent years living in fear of Sheila's return. She's endured stalking, threats, gun violence, and near-death trauma at Sheila's hands. For Steffi, there is no gray area. Sheila Carter is a monster, full stop. So the idea that Finn might be softening toward his birth mother is not just upsetting. It's terrifying. Steffi senses something is off. Finn is quieter, more distracted, less resolute than before. And when she presses him, he struggles to explain what he's feeling, because even he doesn't fully understand it yet. What Steffi does understand is this. If Finn allows Sheila even an inch back into his heart, she'll take a mile and destroy their family in the process. Sheila's loneliness, real pain or calculated performance. One of the most unsettling aspects of today's storyline is how believable Sheila's sorrow feels. She talks about aging alone, about watching other families from a distance, about knowing she'll never hold her grandchildren or be welcomed into Finn's life. Her pain seems genuine, and that's what makes it so effective. But viewers are left asking a chilling question. Is Sheila truly remorseful? Or is this simply the most patient con she's ever played? Sheila has always been a survivor, and when brute force no longer works, she turns to psychology, emotional warfare, subtle manipulation. If she can't force her way into Finn's life, she'll weep her way in instead. Finn's dangerous hope. What if she's changed? The most tragic moment today doesn't come from Sheila. It comes from Finn. In a quiet, private moment, Finn dares to ask himself the unthinkable. What if Sheila has changed? That single question carries devastating implications, because believing Sheila might be different opens the door to rationalizing contact, to secret conversations, to hidden meetings, and eventually to betrayal, whether Finn intends it or not. Finn doesn't want to hurt Steffi. He doesn't want to endanger his family. He just wants peace, closure, a way to reconcile the idea of compassion with self-preservation. But with Sheila Carter, those things can't coexist. History screams a warning, but will Finn hear it? Every tragic chapter in bold and the beautiful history echoes the same lesson. Trusting Sheila always leads to disaster. Sheila has pretended to change before. She has cried before. She has begged for forgiveness before. And every time it ended in bloodshed, trauma, or irreversible loss. Yet today's Sheila feels different, older, wearier, more subdued. And that illusion of vulnerability may be her most dangerous transformation yet. Because when a monster stops roaring and starts whispering, people lean in instead of running away. The emotional cost of compassion. Today's very sad news isn't just about Sheila manipulating Finn. It's about how goodness can be exploited. Finn's kindness, his defining strength, may also be his greatest weakness. And watching him struggle with his conscience is painful, because viewers know where this road leads. If Finn continues down this path, the cost will be enormous. Steffi's trust may shatter. Their marriage could fracture. Their children could be placed in danger. And Sheila may regain exactly what she's always wanted, control. A tragic setup for what comes next. As today's episode closes, nothing catastrophic happens yet. There's no explosion, no arrest, no confrontation, just something far worse. A seed is planted. Finn walks away conflicted, burdened by guilt and compassion. Sheila watches him go, her expression unreadable. Half sorrow, half calculation. And viewers are left with an unsettling sense of inevitability. This isn't the end of Sheila Carter's story. It's the beginning of another, slow-burning tragedy. Final thoughts. Why this moment hurts so much. What makes today's news so sad isn't just Sheila's pain or Finn's confusion. It's the knowledge that love, empathy, and forgiveness, beautiful human qualities, are being twisted into weapons. Finn wants to do the right thing. Sheila wants another chance. Steffi wants safety. And only one of those desires can survive what's coming. As Bold and the beautiful fans know all too well, when Sheila Carter tugs at someone's heartstrings, the cost is never just emotional, it's devastating.